The life of man is a constant struggle for existence, with the certainty of defeat. Arthur Schopenhauer wrote those words with brutal honesty, and yet we still pretend the game isn't rigged. We still believe that if we just love hard enough, try sincerely enough, or stay good enough, we'll win. But let me tell you something you've probably felt in your bones, but never put into words. She didn't smile at your scars because she wanted you healed. She smiled because those scars meant you bled. For her, you were taught women want strength, but that's only half the truth. What they really crave, what their instincts are wired to respond to, is strength that suffers for them. Schopenhauer saw it clearly. He didn't sugarcoat human nature. He wrote, "The fundamental fault in the character of women is that they have no sense of justice." That sounds harsh until you understand what he meant. Justice for a man starts with gratitude for sacrifice. If you bleed for someone, you expect them to see it, honor it. But to her, your sacrifice isn't something to be thanked. It's just the natural order, not because she's cruel, but because biologically she's never seen it any other way. You weren't deceived by her lies. You were deceived by your own dreams. You thought if you gave her your heart without games, if you carried her pain and never complained, she'd admire you more. But the truth is, she never saw your suffering as a burden. She saw it as your offering. In his work on women, Schopenhauer wrote bluntly, "Women exist in the main solely for the propagation of the species." That's not hatred. That's nature. Because to propagate life, it takes more than love. It takes strength. It takes endurance. It takes suffering. You suffer. You strive. You build. Because your usefulness proves your value, not just to her, but to life itself. This is why the carefree man, the one who plays it cool, who avoids the weight of responsibility, never gets her full approval. Her approval is reserved for the man who breaks himself to build something meaningful, for the man who bleeds silently, who never seeks applause, who wears his pain like armor. She doesn't love you because you win. She loves you because you carry burdens and never break. In the biological script of survival, women evolved to admire not men who are strong in peace, but men who stay strong through pain. Schopenhauer, ever the realist, wrote that women are short-sighted, wired to focus only on the now. Nature gave them the tools to survive, not with strength, but with subtlety. He said, "Nature has endowed woman for her protection and defense with the art of dissimulation." That means concealment, ambiguity, masks, not out of malice, but instinct. So when she tests you with coldness, when she makes you earn her affection, when she demands more than you think is fair, she's not playing games. She's surviving. In her world, only the man who endures deserves her loyalty. This is the truth no one told you. She is not your enemy. She is the test. She is the mirror, showing you what you are. She is the forge, shaping you through the fire of adversity. And the modern man, raised on fairy tales of equality and romance, he doesn't understand this. So he gets angry, or worse, he breaks. He expects her to honor vulnerability. He expects her to comfort him when he cries. But here's the hard truth. To the primal mind, vulnerability signals one thing: weakness. And weakness is rejected. Schopenhauer never said women were evil. He said they were loyal to nature, loyal in a way most modern men aren't. They feel the pull of survival deeper than our philosophies can explain. Even when a woman loves you with her whole being, Schopenhauer said, at the bottom, there is always something selfish. But he didn't mean that as cruelty. He meant necessity. So when you wonder why your gentleness, your selfless kindness, your quiet sacrifices go unnoticed, it's not because she hates you. It's because what you gave was invisible to her instincts. Suffering without pride is invisible. A man who suffers and rages, still a slave. But a man who suffers and understands, he's free. Schopenhauer taught that life itself is suffering, that our desires, our need to be loved, to be validated, to be cherished, are the chains that tie us to that suffering. So why would a woman shaped by the same forces somehow rise above them? She can't. She shouldn't. She wasn't made to. Schopenhauer wrote, "Woman is by nature meant to obey." He wasn't talking about dominance. He was describing balance, the tension between masculine creation and feminine selection. Man builds. Woman chooses. Man endures. Woman rewards the one who endures best. And if those words sting, if they make your blood boil, it's not because they're false. It's because they threaten the soft illusions you were raised with. You weren't born to be loved for your sweetness. You weren't born to be praised for trying hard. You were born to be tested by fate, by life, and yes, by her. And when you pass those tests, not with anger, not with tears, but with quiet strength, you stop playing the game. You rise above it. Schopenhauer once said, "The intellect of women bears the same relation to that of children as their body does to that of men." That doesn't mean she's unintelligent. It means her attention is focused, immediate, tangible, survival-oriented. She doesn't plan your downfall. She simply sees the world differently. In her world, security trumps comfort, and the man who survives the fire is the man she follows. So when you suffer, don't beg, don't perform, don't hope she sees you trying. Transform your pain into power. Let it forge you. Let it harden you. Let it crown you. Because she doesn't admire the man who tried the hardest. She admires the man who never broke. The biggest mistake modern men make is thinking women will love them more if they're more emotionally open, more vulnerable, more soft, more expressive. But here's the truth. She doesn't want to see your wounds bleeding wide open. She wants to see the scars, healed, hardened, and worn with pride. She wants to feel your strength through your pain, not your plea for comfort. You were taught that love should make things easier, that if she cares about you, she'll soothe you. But the ancient stories, the myths that survived for thousands of years, tell a different tale. The heroes who won the hearts of women weren't soft. They weren't praised for being gentle. They were honored for enduring brutality and staying upright. Achilles wept, but he fought. Odysseus suffered for decades, but he returned. They didn't hide their pain, but they didn't let it break them either. They suffered with purpose. They struggled with pride. They knew life's trials weren't some unfair punishment. They were the furnace that forged men into legends. You've been trying to earn her love with kindness, thinking that your goodness should be enough. But the primal truth is this: pain alone isn't noble. It only becomes noble when it's carried, when it's transformed into strength. She doesn't admire the man who's drowning. She admires the man who swims with a broken leg and never screams for help. You want her to see your suffering? Fine. Then wear it like a crown. Because only suffering that's mastered, not flaunted, awakens her deepest loyalty. You don't hide your pain because it's weak. You hide it because you've conquered it. There's a reason ancient rites of passage demanded pain. Tribes didn't let boys become men through words. They had to bleed. They had to face the wild, the dark, the impossible, and survive. Why? Because only through suffering does a man become someone worthy of following. That's what the modern man has forgotten. He thinks the world should meet him where he is. He believes he deserves love just for existing. But Schopenhauer warned us, life is pain. And love, true love, isn't about escaping that pain. It's about rising through it. So when she doesn't comfort you the way you expected, when she seems cold in your worst moments, when she tests you, pushes you, even doubts you, she's not punishing you. She's reflecting you. Because women, especially feminine women, aren't drawn to comfort. They're drawn to certainty. And what is certainty? It's you standing in a storm with your shoulders squared and your soul on fire, refusing to fall. If that bothers you, ask yourself why. Is it because it's unfair? Or is it because you were sold a lie? You see, most men want sympathy when what they truly need is respect. But here's the twist. Respect is never handed out. It's earned. And it's earned in silence, in struggle, in the nights you cry alone and still show up the next day stronger. When you understand this deeply, not just in your mind but in your bones, you stop looking for approval. You start radiating something more powerful, presence. And presence isn't loud. It isn't boastful. It's a quiet, immovable force. That's what she's waiting for. That's what makes her eyes soften and her voice go quiet. Not your begging, not your constant giving, your unshakable essence. This is the kind of man a woman follows without being asked. Not because he forces her, not because he manipulates her, but because his strength calms her chaos, because his direction silences her fear. Schopenhauer said that when a man marries, he gains rights but doubles his duties. And if you hear that and think, that's not fair, you're missing the point. Life was never meant to be fair. It was meant to shape you. So if she finds power in your suffering, don't let it break you. Let it refine you. Let your suffering be the proof that you were built for this. Not to collapse under the weight of life, but to carry it and rise anyway. The moment you stop needing her to reward your effort is the moment you earn her respect. Because the man who seeks praise is still a boy. The man who suffers with pride, that's a king. You have to become the kind of man who doesn't perform for women, who doesn't chase their approval, who doesn't crumble when love isn't handed to him on demand. Become the man who leads himself first. Then, and only then, will women follow. Schopenhauer didn't write these truths because he hated women. He wrote them because he understood them. And he pitied the man who didn't. He said, a woman is like the wind. To the weak, she's a storm that dashes their ship against the rocks. To the strong, she's the wind that carries their sails into the vast unknown. And so, my brother, you have a choice. You can keep complaining, keep asking why she didn't love you back the way you loved her. Keep begging for understanding that will never come. Or you can stop, stand up, and become the kind of man who doesn't need to be understood because he understands himself. She's not the enemy. She's the test. And she brings the fire not to destroy you, but to temper you. You don't run from that. You don't resent that. You embrace it. You don't need her approval. You need sovereignty. You need to build a life so grounded in purpose, so fortified in strength, that no woman's love or absence can shake you. And when you stand like that, when you look at her not with desperation, But with calm power, something shifts. Now you're not just a man. You're a force she can trust, a force she can surrender to. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. This is what it means to live as a man in harmony with the feminine. Not as a boy begging for attention, and not as a bitter cynic swearing off women entirely. It means knowing this. You are not born to be pitied. You are born to be revered, and reverence is forged in fire. So if she tests you, if she challenges you, if she pulls away just to see if you follow, don't panic, don't collapse, stand still, stand strong, because deep down, she's not hoping you'll chase. She's hoping you'll rise. She wants to know, can you hold your ground when the world shakes? Can you stay composed when she doubts you, when she's lost in her own chaos? Can you lead without needing her validation? And the only way to answer that is by being that man. A man who doesn't need to talk about his strength because it's felt. A man who doesn't need to prove his worth because he lives it. Schopenhauer said it plainly. To marry is to have one's rights and to double one's duties. This wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to prepare you. Stop expecting her to be the comfort in your storm. Be the calm she anchors to. You don't ask her to change. You change your expectations. You build character. You fortify your soul. And when life demands you suffer, you don't whine. You suffer well. Let your pain be the price of mastery, not misery. Let it be your proof, not your excuse. Because when you carry pain with grace, with power, with silence, you become rare. You become undeniable. So if a woman finds beauty in your suffering, don't resent it. Let it shape you. Let her see not a man crushed by his trials, but crowned by them. She's not here to break you. She's here to reveal you. And once you truly understand that, you stop fearing her nature. You start blessing it. Because the wise man doesn't wage war against the storm. He builds a better ship. And the stronger your ship, the further you sail. Schopenhauer's writings weren't meant to breed hatred. They were a call to awaken. He was pointing to the structure of reality, not to villainize women, but to show men what they're up against, and more importantly, what they can become. So don't take offense. Take ownership. Become a man who doesn't flinch at feminine nature, who doesn't wish women were something they're not. Become a man who sees the fire, steps into it, and walks out forged. Because this isn't about her. It's about you. You are the project. You are the vision. You are the builder. She is not the end goal. She is the mirror. And sometimes she is the storm. But even storms have a purpose. They strip away the weak. They refine the strong. So when you meet her energy, don't match it. Anchor it. Don't react. Respond. And above all, don't try to win her over with words or wounds. Win her over with sovereignty. The man who leads himself commands the room. The man who lives with purpose beyond relationships, he's the one who draws loyalty without asking for it. So build your life. Build it so deep, so wide, so complete, that love from her becomes a bonus, not a necessity. You want her to see your worth? Then embody it. You want her to follow you? Then know where you're going. And if she stays, it will not be because you pleaded. It will be because you stood so tall she couldn't look away. That's the energy she's drawn to. Not the boy who asks, "Why don't you love me?" But the man who shows, "I love myself. I lead myself. And if you walk beside me, we rise." This is what it means to meet her not from lack, but from fullness. This is what it means to love not as a beggar, but as a warrior. not one who fights her, but one who's forged by her presence, one who sees love not as an escape from struggle, but the shared bond after the storm. Two warriors, two souls tempered by fire, meeting not in fantasy, but in truth. If she walks with you after that, great. If she doesn't, you're still whole, because your strength was never built on her admiration. It was built on your resolve. So stop asking for validation. Start building your foundation. And when life tests you, when she tests you, smile. Not because it's easy, but because you were made for this. You are not soft. You are not broken. You are becoming. And the only thing you owe this world is the fullest expression of your strength. So rise, not for her attention, not for revenge, not for applause. Rise because that's what men do. Rise because suffering is the fire that reveals kings. Rise because you've outgrown the game. And if you do, if this message hit a part of you you couldn't explain until now, if it sparks something ancient, something fierce, something real, then stand with us. Like, share, subscribe, not for us, for you. For a movement of men reclaiming their strength, rebuilding their character, and rising with clarity, purpose, and peace. You'll find the support link in the description below. Because we're not here to wallow. We're not here to hate. We're here to rise. Together, beyond illusion, beyond weakness, beyond noise, stand tall, suffer well, and rise beyond the game.